Hello, this is Josh Varley, and I'll be going through my Practical Team Sports Assignment 1. The two sports I've chosen are football and cricket. So in football, each team has 11 players, so it makes 22 players on the pitch, and each team is allowed 3 substitutions but throughout the game, unless it's a friendly, which you're allowed 7 or 6. There's 7 players allowed on the bench, and obviously you have 1 goalkeeper, 10 outfield players, and then you choose your formation depending on what suits your team best. So the pitch for football, the length must be between 90 and 120 meters. So that's between goal line and goal line, and the width must be between 45 and 90 meters, which is touchline to touchline. The centre circle needs to have a radius of 10 yards, and the penalty box is 18 yards from the goal line. The penalty spot is 12 yards from the goal line, and the 6-yard box is 6 yards from the goal line. So in football, the officials are called referees, but there's a team of refs. So you have the main referee, 2 linesmen, and a 4th official. So the ref's job is to give decisions on fouls, goals, bookings, that sort of things, throw-ins if the linesman doesn't see it. The linesman's main roles are to give offsides, to communicate with the ref and help them out and decide whose ball it is when the ball goes off the pitch. And the 4th official stands just by the dugouts, and they keep control of the managers and keep communicating with them, and then signal subs and hold up the added time. And the officials are obviously in charge of keeping time, so it's 45 minutes a half, 90-minute game. And if there's extra time needed, it'll be 15 minutes a half of that, so 30 minutes extra in total. So for football, you're going to need a football, obviously, shin pads, because that's just protective equipment. You need football boots, depending on the surface. So you might have AstroTurf boots, you might have mold boots, and you might have studs, depending on like the surface of and the ground, how hard it is and stuff like that. You need some corner flags, goals, obviously, very important, the goal nets, and a referee's whistle and something like the referee's cards and stuff like that, depending on how serious the game is. So obviously, scoring is the main aim in football. That's how you win the game. You score goals, and to score a goal, the ball has to cross the goal line in the goal mouth. The team with the most goals at the end of the game wins the match. It's pretty simple. In league football, so the most common form of football, a win is 3 points, draw is 1 point, a loss is 0 points. In a cup match like the Champions League, away goals can count. So if it's tied at the end and one team has an away goal and the other team doesn't, that can just get them through to the next round because it's supposedly harder to score an away goal. Um, if it's not a Champions League match, say it's an FA Cup match, and the game is tied, it'll go to a replay, and then the replay is still tied, it'll go to extra time and then a penalty shootout. Football is most commonly played on grass, but some clubs, normally not in England, but some clubs do have AstroTurf pitches to save costs because you don't have to obviously look after the grass. But supposedly for professional football, this is a worse surface to play on, and it causes more injuries. So the main sort of rules for football are like fouls. Fouls can be given for many reasons in football, like poor tackles, just like cynical little tackles, stopping attacks, back passes. If you intentionally pass the ball back to your goalkeeper, it's an indirect free kick from where the goalkeeper picks it up. Tugging shirt, something like that, blocking oppositions. That's just something you can't do in football. So the referee will, if it's deemed against the rule, he'll give a free kick or a penalty. If a foul takes place in the penalty box, obviously a penalty is given. So it should be any normal foul, but if it's inside the penalty box, a penalty is given. Um, and then if it's outside the penalty box, obviously it's just a normal free kick, and a penalty is just sort of a free shot 12 yards out. Normally should be scored, and a free kick, again, similar, free, obviously not under any pressure at the time. So you just get a dead ball situation. Um, the obviously yellow and red cards quite common in football. A ref can give a player a yellow or red card at any time during the game, and I believe you can also get a red card after the game is finished for some sort of action that the player or something like that does. They can be for anything bad challenge, time wasting, back chat to the ref. They're trying to clamp down currently on swearing, so that'll be given a yellow card or even a straight red, so that the players don't get cheeky or start having a go at the refs during game, which has commonly been happening recently. So if it's a really bad challenge, like you're out of control, you'll be given a straight red, and if you're the last man and you bring someone down and they're through on goal and stopping a clear goal, scoring opportunity, you get a red card. But if it's just something for like a little trip or something, you're normally, if it's even worth a yellow card, you get a yellow card for that. If you get 2 yellow cards, you do get sent off, but you only miss 1 game instead of the 3. But obviously, you can get more than the 3 if it's like a very bad thing that you've done. The offside rule is when the ball is played from an attacking player. If the attacker that's receiving the ball is behind the last defender when the ball is played, he's offside and the other team gets a free kick. If the ball goes out of the pitch, it can either be a throw in. This is when like the ball goes out the touchline. So if the ball goes off one team, it'll be the other team's throw in. Goal kicks used off the goal line, and it was last touch from an attacker. So if an attacker kicks the ball off, goes behind the goal line, not in the goal obviously, it'd be a goal kick. And then a corner when the ball goes off, you have and it comes off at a defender, it'll be a corner. So now my second sport is cricket. So the players for cricket is an 11-man team again. Everyone has to field and everyone is in the batting order. So everyone will be 1 to 11 batting order, and then one bowler who will be in the fielding team obviously comes and bowls, and then the bowling swaps ends each time, and the bowlers rotate. Obviously, a batting lineup shows which order the batters are going to go out to bat in. When someone gets out, the next number goes in, and one fielder has to keep wicket, which is shown here in the picture, and they stump the batsman or catch it. So the formats of cricket, there's a few different ways to play cricket. There's mainly 4 main cricket forms. There's county championship, which is just played in England, I believe. So that'll be like counties like Somerset and Sussex and counties like that. It's 4 days. Each team bats twice, so you get 2 innings. It's normally about 90 overs a day, I think. And then a test match is quite similar, higher standard obviously. It's international teams, so they'll be the best players from those nations. And it's 5 days instead of 4, so you get more time to bat, but still only you bat twice. Then 1 day cricket, for county standard it's 40 overs, and for international it's 50. This is it's faster than, you hit more runs than this in the test match and county championship. And then 2020, which is quite a modern form of cricket, because that's really exciting and big shots and flare shots, and it's very good to watch. So batting and scoring in cricket, so every player has to bat, whether you're a specialist batsman or you're not. So obviously 1 and 2 start, 1 faces the first ball, and then 3 comes in when one of them gets out and so forth. And then to score runs, you hit the ball, and if you hit it over the round boundary, and it doesn't hit the floor, you get a 6. If you hit it along the floor, you get 4 runs if it goes to the boundary. And then if you hit a shot and it doesn't reach the boundary, but you run between the wickets, you get 1 for every time you successfully reach the other crease and the batsman's crossover. So bowling and taking wickets in cricket, 1 fielder will bowl at a time while the others field. Every over has 6 balls in it. The bowler rotates, so you can't bowl 2 overs in a row, but you could bowl every other over for a while. You only get a certain amount of overs per game depending on the format again. And to get someone out, you can directly hit the stumps, so that would be the bowler directly hitting the stumps and the batsman misses it. You can catch the ball after it's hit, so a batsman might hit it up into the air and you catch it. You can run them out, so when they're running between the wickets, if you hit the stumps and they're not in the crease, they're out. And LBW is when the bowler bowls, it pitches outside off or in line with the stumps, and it hits the wickets. Well, it's going to hit the wickets, but it hits their legs, and they don't hit it with their bat. It's LBW, and the umpire will give that out. So the pitch in cricket is very well looked after. There's no fixed boundary measurement. It's often different per each game, per pitch you play on, but it should be about between 137 and 150 meters, and normally it's just a rope, or in the professional game there'll be some sort of advertising on it. The wicket where the main action takes place, where the ball is bowled and the batsmen are, is 22 yards long and 10 feet wide, and at each end of the wicket there'll be 3 stumps, to which the bowler aims at and the batter protects, and a crease is placed where the batter cannot be stumped. Like if he stood inside the crease, he can't be stumped, and that's 1 meter 22 centimeters. And to win a cricket match, you just have to have more runs than the other team. So throughout your innings, you just have to hit more runs. You can obviously do this by really going for it and hitting more runs than them, or you could be a bowling team and just bowl them out cheaply so they don't get very many runs, and then you can just hit more than them. And then when there's 2 on innings, it's still the same, but there's more tactics involved, but you still have to get more runs than the opposition.